everyone, welcome to this update video. I hope that you're doing awesome this Saturday. So we're going to be talking about what's going on in the North Atlantic, well, across the North Atlantic. So there is a tropical wave that is helping to influence some showers and thunderstorms for parts of the Lesser Antilles. So it may be a pretty wet morning for some persons, and there is a disturbance headed to the southern Gulf, and the formation chance for it is on the rise. So that is the same disturbance that moved through the Caribbean. So now it is going to be loitering in the Gulf of Mexico, and models are showing they're pretty much consistent on at least a tropical storm developing from that area. So the formation chance has increased, and another tropical wave is out there. We can see some convection in the main development region. So we're going to be talking about what is happening and taking a look at the graphic from the National Hurricane Center. Here we can see that orange X shows the location of that area of low pressure. So it's heading into the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, and it's going to be interacting with the tail end of a frontal boundary. So because it's going to be enhancing all of these showers and thunderstorms, and we're talking about an airflow pressure, the conditions may actually be very favorable to allow it to develop. The sea surface temperatures, as we know, well on their way, very warm, very supportive of tropical development. And with those favorable upper level winds as well, and the system not interacting with land too much, then it will have the perfect opportunity to get itself together. So models have been suggesting that. We'll move on to that momentarily. But looking out in the Atlantic, we see that other yellow highlights. So an airflow pressure could form within that general area, and we could see some development of that as we head into next week. So as of right now, though, low chance. We can see 30%. Heading into the Caribbean, though, on the satellite imagery, we can see all these showers and thunderstorms around. The map is looking pretty colorful with these areas of convection here. So as I mentioned, there is a tropical wave that is approaching the Lesser Antilles that's helping to enhance the showers. So Barbados, maybe even parts of Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, maybe there's been some showers around for you guys. And also for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, especially earlier this morning, there's been some action. Parts of Jamaica as well, we can see some moisture coming down from the north and towards Central America, pretty active. So that the general area has been active, not something surprising to see. Elsewhere, not experiencing too much. And as we look towards more towards the Gulf of Mexico here, switching a bit further west, we can see all that convection in the southern Gulf associated with the disturbance. And again, there is that the tail end of that frontal boundary, which will help to enhance all of the moisture in the area to make the environment a lot more conducive for tropical development. Okay, so now we're heading on to the rainfall forecast for today for the Caribbean region, and here we can see what is expected. So the more color we see, that is indicative of more rainfall activity that is expected, and we can see that on this map here is pretty colorful for much of the Lesser Antilles, Anguilla all the way through St. Lucia, going to St. Vincent, thereabout, including Barbados. So we can see some of those yellow and orangish shadings around. So there could be those intermittent showers moving through, maybe some periods of heavy downpours here and there. Same thing possible for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. And even as we head towards parts of Hispaniola, Jamaica through today, as well as Cuba, a few spots in the Bahamas, southern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, and even the Cayman Islands. So mostly seeing these green shadings around, not a whole lot of rain, maybe an isolated heavy downpour across somewhere, but nothing too crazy expected. As we look towards Central America, we see a lot more color. A big portion of Mexico is cut off, but with the disturbance loitering in the area and all that increase in moisture, there's going to be some periods of heavy rain across parts of Mexico. We can see some of those purple and pink shadings starting to pop up. So that's indicative of rainfall amounts probably going up to 3.5 or 4 inches, maybe a bit higher in a few spots. So definitely flood triggering rain, especially keeping with the fact that the area has been active. So the soil is very saturated for some places. So even where it doesn't normally flood, it may experience some inundation with additional heavy downpours today. So for Mexico, parts of Guatemala as well, and other sections of Central America will likely be active, such as El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, parts of Costa Rica, and Panama, even the offshore islands of San Andres and Providencia. And for Belize, as well as parts of the Yucatan of Mexico, there may not be a whole lot of rain, but some downpours definitely possible with some thunderstorms, much not expected for the Bay Islands of Honduras. Then as we head down to Colombia and Venezuela, maybe a few spots in northern Guyana as well, there could be some showers and thunderstorms, especially later today. Then for Suriname, it will likely be a pretty sunny day, pretty dry, nothing much expected. Same for French Guiana, Few showers may move by the ABC Islands as well as Trinidad and Tobago, but for the Grenadines and Grenada, it may be a pretty dry day with much not expected in terms of rainfall activity. Now going more to the disturbance for the in the Gulf of Mexico. So we're looking at the forecast here, and we are kickstarting things with GFS. So as we're going to be heading into Monday, the 9th of September, we can see that area of low pressure loitering over the Bay of Campeche and all of these green shadings. Now, the green shadings are indicating the moisture, and those black squiggly lines you're seeing all about your screen are called isobars, which join areas of equal atmospheric pressure. Of course, these are imaginary lines. It's just a plot here. So this gives us an idea of where something could form. So when we start to see all these lines in a circular manner, they're very tight, and there's a whole bunch of them. That is indicating normally a strengthening system. So as we head out to Tuesday evening, the 10th of September, take a look at this. We're starting to see those lines in that circular manner. We see that L showing that it's an area of low pressure and heading up along the Gulf Coast. So that's what GFS is showing up to Tuesday evening. Euro is showing an airflow pressure forming as well. We can see all that moisture associated with the frontal system that the low is going to be interacting with. And this is for Sunday, the 8th of September. As we head to the Canadian model, we see a similar story here. Canadian showing that airflow pressure loitering very close to the coast. And with that, it may disrupt the circulation of the system. That may interfere with development while dumping a lot of heavy rain in parts of northeastern Mexico and even southern Texas. So the rainfall is normally the big concern when it comes down to tropical systems, especially the tropical storms. So while the wind may not be, do as much damage, while we may not be talking about, say, a major hurricane or anything like that, the rainfall may definitely pose a problem. Icon is showing a much stronger system. We see all those black lines, but it's showing something a bit lopsided. So sometimes as these frontal systems come out behind them, the upper level winds may get unfavorable. So we may have some shearing going on with the system, because notice that we're not seeing all these colors right around that L, that airflow pressure, to show the center. It is kind of confined to the eastern half of the system, so there could be a bit of shearing around, keeping most of that moisture to the north and east of the center. So this is for Wednesday, by the way, of the 11th of September, so that's next Wednesday. So we can see here that the models are definitely showing that we will likely see development out of this area. And provided the formation chance has been on the rise, I mean, it was stagnant at 40% for a while in the Caribbean. It was up to 50 at one point, but the system overall failed to get itself together. So now it's going to be in sort of an environment that will kind of favor more development and intensification from it. And of course, guys, nothing is solid right now in terms of the exact track or the exact intensity. And this is definitely something we want to keep an eye on over the coming days. And of course, I'm here to keep you posted as per usual. So that is it for this update video. That's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope you found it to be informative. But if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll respond to you when I get the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.